August. We're into August now, but it's still summer. I think we still count that as summer. It's sunny outside today, and we've been having some pretty nice weather here in Fairbanks. So today I'm here with Jennifer from the UAF Community and Technical College, and we're going to be talking about all things CTC today. I did find out that neither Jennifer nor I have ice cream today, so we'll just have to be content with the ice cream backgrounds we see and maybe think about having ice cream later.
Although I had a fruit smoothie, but it was really good, so I finished it before logging in.
I know, it's really hard to wait, you know, I mean, especially, you know, with the idea you can have ice cream at any time during the day, really, so. So Jennifer, we were talking a little bit beforehand. You were saying there's already lots of stuff going on down at CTC, but before we get too much into that, talk a little bit about what CTC is. I know that I've always just been so amazed with the breadth of programs and how many things you can do at CTC. It's just really an amazing part of our university.
Yeah, so I started working for CTC in 2004. They've been around in different iterations for much longer than that, but I remember walking into the downtown building. I was 2 days after having my oldest son, and I was teaching a night class, and I was just amazed by what was going on down here, and I've learned so much over the years. CTC is UAF Community and Technical College, and we house all of the 1-year and 2-year degrees. So, for example, like Associate of Art degree, which is a really cool, versatile 2-year degree, Associate of Applied Science, and then we also have over 40 certificate programs that take, about a year to complete, depends on the program, sometimes 2 years. We have occupational endorsements that you can add onto your resume really quickly with those. And we also have just a lot of fun classes that people take for general interest. We have lots of recreation classes, just all kinds of business classes. I've taken a few just for fun to kind of just add to my own personal knowledge. And we have various locations throughout Fairbanks. We have an aviation hangar out at the airport. We have a fire academy. That's actually going on right now, our fire academy.
And that's for,
go ahead.
Is that wildland firefighters, or is that your traditional firefighters?
Traditional firefighters, yeah. So they have a summer fire academy, and this year, because of COVID, the students started off taking their classes online. And we have students from Alaska, we have students from the Pacific Northwest, and then they came here to Fairbanks to do their training. So that's what they're doing right now, masks on and everything. But the other day I drove by the fire training center here in town, and they had all their gear on and, working with the hoses and stuff. So that's going on right now. And then our aviation program is happening at the hangar right now. So, yeah.
CTC has a lot of classes that just kind of have to be in person in this environment, or have to have some sort of face-to-face, facet of them. I know, for one thing, you guys do a lot of sort of medical related stuff.
Yes.
That probably is really relevant in this time period. I know that medical professionals are in high demand right now.
They are. So right now we have the CNA, Certified Nursing Assistant. That's only a 9-credit program, and that's offered each semester. They are in high demand. We also have a 5-credit phlebotomy program, also high demand career fields, and a medical assistant certificate, which is just 1 year of full-time classes. So, and those take place internships throughout town, but the classes are delivered here downtown at CTC.
Man, those are, some of those, you're talking 9 or 5 credits, you could really jump into a career quick with that.
You really could. And I'm thinking right now with COVID, those career fields are in such high demand that really it's a great opportunity to kind of retool your resume or pivot and have something for those essential workers that are out there. And a lot of the classes, because I know I have 3 kids at home right now, who knows when they're going to be back in school. a lot of the classes can be taken from home, which really helps out, parents or people who are juggling, maybe a part-time job already.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I know when I think about CTC, probably the thing I think about most is the culinary program, because I had a family member who took a class or two there, and boy, that class was worth it just for the baked goods that came home with her every time she had class.
Good idea. I signed my husband up for a sourdough bread making class, I think, and I got a lot out of that one personally. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, I know.
and they've had a really creative approach to COVID. So last semester they had to switch to entirely online courses.
Yeah.
So the students were amazing. A lot of the students are in a cohort, so they're kind of in it together. They have good relationships. They did classes online through Zoom. Cooking out of their homes. And
Oh,
I know,
wow.
you can't recreate everything. So the instructors would have really well-known chefs come and be guest speakers to their class. So they had a wonderful approach. And this semester, because we are going to be able to be back in the classroom following all the safety protocols, they're going to do kind of what the Fire Academy did. They're going to have a lot of the academic portion of the classes online, and then they're going to come in to the kitchens over at Hutchison and cook. So the good part is in person.
Yeah, that's a really nice facility over there too. It has lots of space and just has really great equipment and everything. And I know when sometime in the future, when we get back to everything being more in person, they oftentimes do cook meals and stuff like that people can come and see how awesome they are.
They have the Bistro Thursdays, and they're not happening right now, but I hope, like you, that we get back to them really soon. But they have themed menus on Thursday, and any person in the public can go and sign up and have a really good lunch and learn a little bit about our program. It supports our students too.
Yeah, yeah. I have a husband of a friend of mine who had a whole career in the sewer and water industry, retired, former military too, and he actually was part of the culinary program there. But CTC programs are so accessible to everybody. It's anybody from your person right out of high school all the way up to somebody who's looking to try something completely different. How do you guys help students kind of get in the door and figure it out? Because sometimes it can be a little bit, people think it's intimidating to go back to school or something.
Those are my favorite people, because I really feel, we all feel here at CTC that education is for everyone. And you mentioned after high school, we have lots of high schoolers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we have a lot of dual enrolled students every semester. I love it when then their parents come back to school. So sometimes we'll have a child parent duo. But what's cool about us is we're kind of a one-stop shop. So we really welcome people who are trying to navigate the system, and we try to make it as easy as possible and kind of take that intimidation out of it. So at our downtown location, we're gearing up for in-person advising. And right now students can call our number and get all the information they need to speak to an advisor. But we have financial aid advising. We can help military students. We have, you can do all your payments here, sign up for courses, computer labs. So you can just come into one building, easy parking, which I really love.
It is.
Yeah, so we're just on 6th and Barnett. But we're really a one-stop shop. And I have to say that really those returning students or brand new students, the people who feel like they might not have a place, I love it because there is a place for them. And whether it's, a launch into a 4-year degree or, just taking a class here and there for fun, there's definitely an easy way to get signed up here.
Yeah,
I've had, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you.
I've had a 14-year-old homeschool student in my class alongside a 65-year-old retired farmer. And
awesome.
And everything in between. So there really is a place for everyone here.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I've heard that firsthand from people I know in the community, people who were like, well, I don't know if I'm really somebody who would fit in college, and they got their start there at CTC and found a lot of success there.
Yeah. People
and-
find their peeps here. There it really is quite a community, and a lot of the programs are cohort based. So you go through the program with students and you really get to know them. And I think that's a really awesome aspect of our programs.
That's awesome. So you were telling me too that even though, I mean, we're only a couple weeks out from the start of the semester, but people can still sign up if they've been sort of on the fence, or what do they need to do if they want to do that?
So yeah, they can still sign up. Classes start on the 24th, and I can't believe how close we're getting to that. But we also have a lot of late start classes. So even after the day of classes, the official start, a lot of our programs are on non-traditional calendars. So for example, we have an aviation cohort that is starting, I think, in September. So a lot of our classes and programs don't follow a traditional calendar. So what students can do is they can go to the website. They can just search CTC UAF and find us, or they can call 455-2800. And we're here Monday through Friday. So even though we're closed right now, the doors are closed to the public, we're open by appointment. We're here to answer questions and phone calls, and absolutely it is not too late at all. I get that question a lot in emails every day, but there is still plenty of time to get signed up for classes in the fall.
And so when you enter as a new student at CTC, do you have to take like the ACT, or, I mean, what do you need to do to become a student at CTC?
Yeah, so that's a great question. If you're looking to take, so some classes you don't need to do anything. If you're taking yoga, you don't have to do math, thank goodness, right? But if you want to sign up,
a little geometry, depending on what position you're in.
You have to take, there's 2 different assessments, and that just helps us place you in a class where you're going to succeed. So our idea is to support students, and make sure that they can do the best they can in their courses. So we have what's called ALEX Math Placement. And if they call the number or log into their site, students can see all the details. It's a math placement test that's done entirely online. At their own pace. So students can actually do it from their home. You don't have to be enrolled in a class to get in there and do your math placement. And I think you have several different attempts before it takes your final score. I'm an English teacher, so that's why I know a little bit less about the math, but we have a lot of math tutors here in the building too that can help students get logged in. Right now we have online math, which is something I'll talk a little bit more about too. But yeah, so they'll do an ALEX placement test, and we'll help you know which math class is the best fit for you. And then for writing, we have an alternative writing placement because our testing center is currently closed, and that's on our website. And it's a short writing sample, and then we'll place you in a writing class. We have a lot of academic support here at CTC. We have writing tutors, math tutors, at no extra cost to students. And we actually reach out to high schools and offer tutoring to high school students in math and writing. We just really believe in getting students in the door, getting them familiar and comfortable in a college atmosphere, and helping them succeed. So students, math was always the thing that I struggled with. Yeah. And I think I spent a lot of time in the math lab. So if that's intimidating people, if that taking that writing class or taking that math class is kind of that mental barrier, I just want to let students know that they can do it. And we have a lot of support for students who say it's, been a decade since they've had their last writing or math class. You guys are our people. We can help you. We have a lot of support for that, whether face-to-face or online. We will have both modalities of tutoring coming this fall.
That's awesome. So when you talk about testing, it's not really like a gatekeeper sort of, it's not an entry exam. It's just, we're looking to make sure that you are put someplace you can be successful.
Exactly. Yeah. We really believe in helping you get through those, all those classes successfully, and supporting students throughout the way.
Awesome. And so, when I talked earlier about CTC programs being accessible, That wasn't just me making things up.
No.
You guys really are. I mean, the door, it's really an open door sort of thing. You come in, you can take those placement tests, and you can get started on your program pretty quickly.
Yeah, and both of those tests actually, now they can just be done at home too. So which is great. You can make the choice to just do it from the safety of your own home and submit those. And we have many classes and programs that are fully online as well. So access is, I think, so important for education. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You mentioned something, you were talking something about a math lab online you wanted to talk about.
Yes. So I teach writing, and in addition to teaching, I also run our writing lab and our math lab. And we have the most amazing team of tutors for math and writing. And right now we're doing appointments on Zoom for math. And then starting the first day of classes, we'll have math tutoring and writing tutoring, both online and some limited in-person by appointment tutoring, because I know sometimes with math, especially with math, for me, I need someone, I won't hold your hand right now because we can't do it, but if I could, I would. So our tutors are going to be there in person for students who either don't have internet access maybe, or easy computer access, or just really need to talk to someone. And we have plexiglass. We're working on all the physical distancing things that we need to keep our tutors safe and to keep students safe. But as soon as this whole thing started, my mind went straight to how can we make sure that we reach people in the way that they need to be reached. So online tutoring is actually going really well. And both that and the physical tutoring will be open to high school students and also to, of course, all of our college students.
Isaac asked here in the comments box about whether or not there's tutoring online available for high school students in rural areas who may want to come to Fairbanks after graduation. How would that work if a student who doesn't live in Fairbanks maybe wants to take a math class or English class and needs access to that? I know there's, we have our e-learning and there's CTC, so maybe, I don't know if there's some interface between that, but what are the options for those sorts of students?
That's a great question. So eCampus, e-learning has, they have test proctoring and some things like that. They don't have tutoring. So we're the ones that we do the distance tutoring. So they can access it just like any UAF student or any high school student. We use Zoom. So, and we have an appointment calendar set up online. Students can click and set up an appointment. We have both open lab, so a lot of students can come into one Zoom room at a time, or we have the option of, by appointment. So it's really easy. We have a lot of rural students who access our tutoring, and the tutors are really cool at figuring out if there's a low bandwidth issue. There's ways that they can do something with whiteboard to share math problems and things like that. So we've had a lot of experience this summer working out any kinks, and we have had it, working really, really well for students even from a distance. Lower 48, I have a student in Florida who calls in often for help. She's taking one of our classes. So the only thing there is just lining up the time difference. But online tutoring is definitely available to students in the villages.
Yeah. So if you're a high school student somewhere and you're taking a class, a distance class via CTC, you're going to have access to those resources.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
And it's right from our webpage. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's really exciting. Thanks for asking that question, Isaac. I'm looking over here to see if there's other stuff that we wanted to cover. It sounds like you're having a blend of, we talked a little bit about a blend of classes and types of classes, and you guys are working on all those safety protocols, probably like all the other folks here at the university.
Yeah.
Our facilities people just earlier today about signage for CTC. So lots of work going on there. The one thing that we haven't talked too much about, and maybe you can fill me in, CTC, I know, at least the last time I looked at courses and stuff there, used to have sort of these real short sort of professional development type courses. that people could take, and they were like maybe a week or even sometimes just 1 or 2 days. Do you guys still do that?
We do. Applied Business really does a lot of those.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember the name of some of the specific seminars they've had, but I see signs, and I would imagine that they move some of those virtual as well.
Yeah.
But yes, we definitely have professional development. I actually want to do a professional development for taking minutes. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, "Hey, I have to take minutes for my boss's meetings, and I want a little bit of help doing that. So I'm going to work on something with that." So yes, we do have a lot of professional development in the building, and I would imagine coming in Zoom too.
Yeah. And those sorts of things are designed for people that are already in the workforce and just are looking, like you said, just a little boost in their skills here or there. I remember years and years ago, back when I worked for the newspaper, our entire staff went in and did a thing. I think it was on, it was some sort of time management something. I remember. But it was a long time ago.
Mhm.
But those sorts of things are scheduled, I imagine, for people who are in the workforce.
They are. I've done a lot that are open to the public. So we've had some resume workshops. Those are open to the public. I actually, a wonderful gal over at Lowe's who works in their hiring office, we were doing them together. And those were open to the public for people who wanted to beef up their resume. And we also have financial aid workshops for prospective students, because that can be really challenging to navigate.
Yeah.
We have things that are more geared toward prospective students, and then opportunities that are geared toward people already working in a career field.
Yeah. And where can people find information about those seminars as they're coming up? Because they're scheduled throughout the academic year. I know
They are. Our Facebook page and Twitter account, those are probably the best places to find the most up-to-date information. I know that we also have pages on our website where we'll highlight the next coming opportunity. Facebook is a great place to get on and ask questions. If you see an event coming up that looks interesting, just pop in, write a comment, and our marketing person gets right back on those questions. So.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks for asking that question, Felicia. Somebody asked about, Gloria asked about RET classes. So you mentioned those just briefly earlier, but what are RET classes and what kind of offerings do those include?
I wish I could take I have a list of RET classes. And with COVID going on, what I think is really cool is we have a variety of recreation classes. So we have yoga, Zumba classes, multi-fitness conditioning. That's a really great class. Beginning pistol marksmanship and climbing classes. Some of those are going to be online with Zoom exclusively. So I know Raina Hastings is doing Zumba online, and the multi-fitness conditioning is going to be online with Zoom. Some of the classes, of course, like pistol marksmanship and climbing, those are going to be in person. Fencing, we have fencing. So
we're not going to be fencing because that might wreck your computer.
It could wreck your computer. And so those are going to be taking place. So for example, and they take place all over town. So our climbing class takes place at the climbing wall at the SRC on the main campus. So they're following strict protocols. I know for some of them, depending on the course, that masking is required, sanitizing hands, physical distancing, all of that stuff. One thing that we have that I'm really excited about is we are now adding an aerial yoga class. Aerial yoga has been in our community for a while, and now we have one of our instructors, Teal Rogers, has a new studio, and we're going to be offering our classes through her studio.
And that's the thing with the silks, right? It's real pretty. It looks like dancing in midair.
I did not look like that when I tried it.
I wouldn't look like that either, but I would imagine myself looking incredibly graceful.
My daughter looks like she took the classes from Teal. Teal's a great instructor. And she looked a lot better than I did, but I'm really excited about that because Teal's so passionate about it. She has her own studio and we're partnering with her to offer those classes. So we have a nice mix of online, Zoom classes as well as face-to-face so that people can pick what their comfort level is right now with COVID going on.
And people can find those also in like the UAF course finder and stuff too.
Yes.
They can go in and click. They're all under the REC 4-letter code, right?
Yeah, RECR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
I'll put some links into the chat box as we after we're done here to the CTC website and maybe to the course finder too, so folks can take a look and see what's out there. It was kind of fun just to go through the courses that are available each semester. Even just looking at all of them and kind of scrolling through, it's really exciting how much stuff you can do and learn.
It really is, and the rec classes they're 1-credit classes generally. They're very affordable classes and a nice way to try something new or get into a good habit and keep it.
Yeah. Well, and this is, there's lots of things that are obviously downsides with everything that we're kind of dealing with right now, but there is some opportunity to really expand the reach and try some new stuff even from home.
Yes. Yes. That's a really great way to look at it. Yeah.
And people from anywhere, if you're up up on the North Slope and you live up in Ukjavik, you could try.
You can try it.
Zumba class.
I was in an online exercise class last spring, and some soldiers deployed overseas joined us.
Oh,
it was
awesome!
really cool. And that would not have been possible. Well, it would have been possible, but we wouldn't have really done it before COVID in some cases. So you're right. There's some silver linings there as far as access goes. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, we're getting close to the end of our time here. Is there anything else that you really feel like people need to know about CTC before we sign off here today?
You've been really thorough in your questions. I guess one thing that I think about with CTC is just the word opportunity. Right now, I think there's so many barriers with COVID, but there's a lot of open doors here for people who need to retool their resume and maybe get a second job or a side hustle or something like that for right now. And CTC is a really great place to do that because you can go for just 9 credits or 5 credits and find yourself in a high demand career. Or you could take the time and start maybe a 2-year degree, which is a wonderful foundation for any 4-year degree. It's a great credential. So opportunity.
Yeah, that's true. Regardless of where you're thinking you're wanting to go, whether it's a certificate or you're eventually going to end up with a PhD, you really can get started right there at CTC, and it becomes pretty seamless if you do decide to continue on to something new.
Yes, it does. I think a lot of people don't realize that we are part of UAF. It's a CTC Community and Technical College, but when you're taking our classes, you're taking UAF courses.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us here, Jennifer. It's been a really great conversation, lots of exciting new ideas and possibilities for people. So really appreciate having some time to talk to you. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.